Awesome. So we have Joe Mazzulla joining us. He joined the Celtics coaching staff in 2019. He's the youngest Celtics head coach, 34 years old to start since Bill Russell, 32 in 1966 and 67. You were assistant coach for the Celtics G League affiliate in 2016. We're really excited to have you here with us. Welcome. I know it's been a transition for you coming into this new role. How are you approaching today as media day and also training camp?
Yeah, I mean, thanks for having me. And just really approaching it as we start practice tomorrow. And, how can I gather our team and shed perspective on, where we're at and where we're trying to get to. And, I think that's important.
What was, sorry.
No, go ahead.
What was the message that you had for the guys?
I think, first, the message for anybody was, whatever space and time you need to feel what you're feeling is important. And, that's important. And we can't rush that process. At the same time, we have practice tomorrow. And, we're coming off a very successful year. And where are we at and where are we trying to get to, I think, are the two things that we have to shed perspective on.
Joe, one thing that I said at the top of the show is that some of the fans out there might not recognize or think about the fact that you guys as a coaching staff have been meeting for weeks and months and putting a plan in place that you're going to hit the ground running tomorrow. But how much of that plan do you tweak now that you are the one that's calling the shots and you are the one that's running the program on a day-to-day basis compared to maybe what you guys were talking about leading up to last week?
Yeah. I think it's more about just what the team needs. Mm-hmm. Like you said, we have been meeting for a long time. We have a formula in place. We have an identity in place. And any team that achieved what we achieved last year and came up short is going to have things that they can work on. And so I think it's coming together with both the staff and the players and being on the same page about, okay, where do we need to get better to get to where we want to go?
What are those things for this group?
I mean, I think we still have to decide that. We have a new roster. We have a couple new players. We obviously have a couple injuries that we need to, fill in for. And so I think that's just we're going to see as training camp progresses. But I think the one thing that's important is our defensive identity is key.
Here's a two-part question. This summer you interviewed with the Jazz, right?
Yes.
And to get prepared for all that, did you start to picture yourself as a head coach in the NBA?
I mean, I think in order to get to where you want to go, you have to have a vision. You have to have a plan. And so, you can't control the timing of anything, but what you can control is your preparation. And, am I as prepared as I can be for this opportunity? Yes. Will there be situations that I'm not prepared for? Yes. And that's where I think you rely on your staff. That's where I think you rely on your players because they're more experienced at what they do than I am at what I do. And so that's where the collaboration comes in.
So you don't at all looking at the situation. So first-year head coach, young but veteran team, NBA Finals last year. The expectations here in Boston, as we were just talking, like you understand how it is here. The expectations are to win a championship. I know you have practice tomorrow. Are you looking at I just got practice tomorrow, or are you taking in all those other things?
I'm just looking at it as we have practice tomorrow.
Yeah.
What is the practice plan going to be? What are we going to focus on? Where is our team? What's our identity? And, you just have to put your head down and focus on that. I can't control what happens after that. Mm-hmm. What I can control is, are we putting our players in the best possible situation on both ends of the floor to be successful? And how much can I rely on them and stay out of the way?
Brad Stevens had high praise for you, just saying you have a strong ability to command a room and your leadership is so strong. Give us an insight. How do you lead as a coach?
It's relying on the people around me. Like I said, everybody's so focused on certain things. We have to go to the things that are factual from a basketball standpoint. We have a great team. We were playing great basketball for the majority of the season. We got to one of the highest pinnacles that you can in any sport, and we came up short. And so, going through that diagnosis and answering those questions is the most important thing. And then doing it together. It's not one person. It's not my show. It's not. It's the Boston Celtics who they're going to be around. They were around before me, and they're going to be around after me. And they're having a great team, and then how can we collaborate?
I got to ask you about, listen, every team is its own entity. You can bring back every player from the prior season, every coach from the prior season, but it still might not lead to the same results as the prior season. So how do you guys take what you did last season defensively and carry that momentum into this season? Because that was the identity of that team, defense. How do you replicate that this year?
Probably just ask him to do it.
It's that simple, huh?
I think. No, seriously though, like you are what you emphasize.
I might be able to coach him. Is that easy?
No, you already compared yourself to Al Horford.
Yeah.
You got to slow your
Simply
roll.
from an
man.
age perspective, let me clarify.
Mark is ready.
Listen, in any organization, you are what you emphasize, and you are what you buy into, and so any anchor has to be on the defensive end if you want to be a championship team. I think one of the things that made us a great team last year is our players knew that, and we have a lot of the same players. And so, are we going to have nights where we're not performing at the highest level defensively? Yes, but I think it has to start where our strengths are, and it starts with our togetherness and our defensive identity.
Now, as a player, you make mistakes. You can move on. You can do a lot of different things. You've coached summer league, been a head coach before.
By the way, my last game we lost by 33, I think. So.
We didn't bring that up.
Okay.
Come on, Joe.
So that actually goes to my next question.
I've set a lot of records in the Celtic organization.
Not the good ones?
Youngest head coach, most assists, most turnovers in a game.
I had a rough AAU outing this summer too, and I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning trying to teach 15-year-old girls dribble drive offense, but I didn't handle it well, right? And there's going to be times where you make mistakes. Yeah. So far in your coaching career, what has been the challenges when you're like, man, I messed that up. I should have called this. We should have done that. How have you handled that, and how are you going to learn in this kind of environment?
I think the most important thing is for that is relying on your staff. We have great staff dynamics. We have a strong staff. We have great workers and great basketball minds. And so you can't go through anything alone. And so if I'm sitting in the room beating myself up, I'm making it about me. Yeah. If I'm sitting with my staff and I'm relying on them and we're trying to figure out things together, then we're making it about us and we're making it about the Celtics. And I think that's what you have to, focus on the most is you got to have great people around you, which I do, and then we got to work together on that.
So can I just follow up with kind of what Mark was saying? What do you see as the biggest challenge for this group? I mean, given all the circumstances, you guys were up 2-1 in the NBA Finals. Everyone's thinking you're gonna beat the Golden State Warriors. How do you get better? And then, what are some of the things that you can build off of from last season?
I think playing in the NBA for so long, I think you have to start on day one of what's important to your team, and you also know playing problems are going to arise during a season that you don't even prepare for. Mm-hmm. And so the most that you can focus on your foundation as far as, are you getting your players better? Where's your defensive identity? And then how fluid is your offense? And then, use the players' strengths, which we have a lot of those, to handle the situations that are going to come up that you're not ready for, I think is the key, right? Because you can't prepare for every situation. All you can prepare for is how strong your foundation is for when those problems come.
One of those problems right now is Rob Williams is out for the first 8 to 12 weeks of the season. How do you plan on navigating that, not only from a rotational standpoint, but is there anything defensively you need to change schematically without that all-defensive second-team player protecting the rim?
Yeah, I think it's more of just using it as an opportunity that we have a chance to plug somebody else in that can give us more depth when we get to the point where he is healthy. Mm-hmm. And so communicating to the players hey, instead of one thing being asked of you, we want you to grow. We want you to get better at this situation. And I think a key, by the end of the season is how much depth do you have? Can you go to different options? Can your team look different in certain late game situations? So really just focusing on where can we, in this opportunity, we know we don't have them, where can we grow? Where can we ask others to step up?
Well, we know you're going to step up.
No, hold on.
We got one more.
So now that you're the head guy, what's up with the pickup? Are you on pickup still, or now you got to answer questions to the media? Now you're kind of a big shot. Because I remember when Brad Stevens became a head coach, when he didn't like to play as much pickup. I'm asking you, are you going to be still running the pickup games?
Pickup's probably going to be my stress release. Yeah. Whoever I need to get out there that I'm mad at, we're playing.
I'll tell you one guy you can get out there right here.
You don't want to play against Al Horford.
You can beat up on him all day long.
You don't want to play against Al Horford. Come on, Scal.
Yeah, that's his inside joke. Him comparing himself to Al Horford was absolutely ridiculous.
From an age perspective.
And I guess, we were talking about the photos too, which I don't think anyone wants to see.
The photos wouldn't look good. If we went shirtless, it's not going to end well. Okay, it's not going to end well.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for the start of training camp.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.